Hey there, my fishing fanatics and friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into what promises to be a truly special day on the water, the 25th of September 2025. If you're wondering if it's worth dusting off your gear, stick around because this forecast for our incredible Australian waters might just surprise you. We're in early spring, and the fish are definitely feeling the change. Let's talk tactics and where to find our finned friends. We've got some great opportunities across the country, especially in those warming estuaries and coastal zones. First up, the mighty Flathead. These beauties are really starting to shake off their winter slumber, and September is a prime time for them. You'll want to target the shallow flats and sandy drop-offs in estuaries, especially where the water has had a chance to warm up a few degrees. Think mudflats, sandbanks, and areas near weed beds. For tackle, a light spin setup is perfect. I recommend casting soft plastics around 3 to 5 inches in natural baitfish colors retrieved with a slow twitch and pause. If you prefer bait, a live poddy mullet or a fresh pilchard tail fished on the bottom will be irresistible. Remember, friends, a slow retrieve often works wonders with flathead. They're ambush predators. Next, let's talk about Utsita and Bream. These feisty fighters are also becoming more active. Look for them around structure, rock bars, oyster leases, jetties, and fallen timber in the estuaries. They'll be looking for crustaceans and small baitfish. For bait, try fresh prawns, small worms, or even bread for the shore-based anglers. If you're into lure fishing, small suspending hard-bodied minnows or soft plastics imitating a small yabby or shrimp will be very effective. Work them close to the structure, letting them sit for a moment. That's often when the bite comes. For those chasing something with more pull, Kingfish are making their presence felt, especially in places like Sydney Harbour. They're hard-pulling, mean, and tough, offering an incredible fight. Look for surface action or target them around prominent headlands, deeper channel markers, and bait schools. Heavy sinking lines for fly fishing or a sturdy spin setup with a 300 to 400 grain line will get your lure into the strike zone quicker. Large clouser patterns or bulky baitfish imitations work well for fly. For spin, consider larger stick baits, poppers if they're feeding on the surface, or even live squid or yellowtail. Remember, kingfish are hungry, so don't be shy with your offering. Finally, for those venturing offshore or into deeper bays, snapper offer an excellent opportunity this spring. They'll be congregating around reefs, rocky areas, and artificial structures. A sturdy bottom fishing setup with pilchards, squid, or fresh-cut bait will do the trick. A paternoster rig is a classic choice for snapper. Keep an eye on your sounder for those telltale arches. Now for the nitty-gritty, the theoretical base for our forecast. Weather-wise, across much of eastern Australia, especially around Sydney, we're looking at a mostly cloudy day with temperatures comfortably sitting between 59 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit, or 15 to 25 degrees Celsius. There's only a 10% chance of rain, so largely dry conditions. Winds will be light to moderate, around 16 miles per hour, which is great for casting. This generally stable, warming weather, though not perfectly clear, should keep the fish in a positive mood. In Melbourne, it's a bit cooler, with temperatures between 57 and 62 degrees Fahrenheit, or 14 to 17 degrees Celsius, and a 20% chance of light rain. This slight dampness might make the bite a little more finicky in the south, but overall, it's not a deal-breaker. Water temperatures are on the rise, which is the magic word for spring fishing. In Sydney, the average sea temperature for September is around 18.6 degrees Celsius or 65.5 degrees Fahrenheit, but we're seeing current readings closer to 19 to 20 degrees Celsius in the estuaries. Melbourne waters are a bit cooler, averaging around 14.6 degrees Celsius or 58.3 degrees Fahrenheit, warming to 13 degrees Celsius towards the end of the month. This increasing warmth signals to the fish that it's time to feed aggressively after the colder winter months, especially in the shallower, sun-warmed bays and estuaries. As for the clean moon phase, today, the 25th of September, we're in a waxing crescent phase with about 11 to 13% illumination. This is roughly 3 to 3.5 days after the new moon, Many anglers, myself included, believe that fishing picks up as the moon heads towards its first quarter. The fish often become more active, moving more freely. We're also experiencing a neap tide, meaning weaker tidal currents. This can sometimes make fish less active, but in warming conditions it just means they might spread out a bit more rather than schooling in strong currents. Considering all these factors, rising air and water temperatures, mostly stable weather, and a waxing crescent moon, the overall fish activity in Australia for this day is looking promising. Early spring can be a bit inconsistent, but the trend is definitely upwards. Expect species like Flathead, Bream, and Kingfish to be actively feeding as they shake off their winter lethargy. Snapper will also be a good target in their usual haunts. My clear assessment for today's bite is good to capricious. You'll find active fish, especially where the water is warmest and bait is present, but some areas might be a bit slower. The rising temperatures are a huge plus motivating fish to feed, but the slight chance of rain in the south and early spring variability mean you might need to work for your bites. Keep an eye on those shallow, sun-exposed areas where the water warms quickest. So, my friends, don't miss out on what could be some fantastic early spring fishing. I wish you all tight lines and nil-naught, no scales. Go out there and make some memories. If you enjoyed this forecast, please hit that like button, subscribe for more expert tips, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And tell me in the comments below, what are your plans for today? What species are you hoping to tangle with? And what's your go-to early spring lure or bait? Your experiences help us all learn and grow.